How's it going, guys? Alex here. Welcome back to another Dokkan Battle video, and today I'm going to be trying out a fully maxed INT Gogeta in the ability system. And of course I'm going to be comparing him to the STR type, which I have over on Global. And one of the reasons why I'm doing this is just because I want to see how much of a difference there actually is, because there are definitely some differences and similarities between the two, and one of the biggest differences is the fact that the INT type gets a percentage boost, whereas the STR type gets a flat out boost. And you also have to keep in mind that the STR type gets a bigger increase from the ability system. So there are a few things that could potentially make one hit harder than the other, but for the most part, I will say that the INT type does have a bit of an edge. And also another thing that you have to take into account is the fact that the effectiveness against all types increases his overall damage output. So it will be interesting to see how the two compare. And unfortunately, we do not have him in this first rotation, and I'm going to be using several support units, of course, just to see how much of an increase they, give these units. And one thing that you also have to take into account is that with more ability system buffs, they are going to benefit way more from support units. So definitely keep that in mind. But for the most part, it is going to be kind of one-sided. But you will see that in certain situations, one could potentially deal more damage, but like I said, for the most part, it is going to be the INT, and one of the reasons why, just because of that percentage passive. But like I said, you have the STR type who gets the biggest increases from the potential system, so that may come into play. But let's go ahead and get started with this. So again, keep in mind that both of these units are fully maxed. Oh well, the INT one is on the Japanese version, and then once we move on to the global version, it's okay. Once we move on to the global version, STR one will be there. And so during this particular stage, he hit for 2 million. His attack stat was around 1.3 million, and he did not have an increase from any support unit. So once this Gohan actually goes back round, we are going to get a better representation of what he can truly do with a boost from a support unit. And keep in mind that he does not have the Super Saiyan link, which is a bit unfortunate. So I am going to have to keep him paired up with a Fierce Battle unit just to make it a bit fairer. And then, of course, on the global version of the game, I am going to be keeping him paired with Super Saiyan 3 GT Goku. Granted, he doesn't give as much of an increase as the Gohan, but it should be somewhat similar. You'll get reasonable understanding of how much of an increase he gives, of course. Alright, here we go. Gohan doing what he can. Now we have the fully maxed one back, and hopefully you can actually keep a Gogeta every single turn, just so I don't spend too long on these particular stages. But you will see how hard he's going to hit here, of course. He's currently getting the boost from the buff Goku, to be fair, and his attack stat just rose up to 1.5 million, and he's going to hit for 2.2 million. So this guy just hits super hard, and it's just that effectiveness against all types. If he wasn't effective against all types, of course he wouldn't be hitting as hard. But even so, like, the fact that he is hitting this hard every single time is just crazy. And now this is a friend one that isn't at 100%, but he is still going to be hitting pretty damn hard. And you actually have to take into account that he debuffs, so that debuff is actually going to make a bit of a difference. It will allow him to hit that tiny bit harder, so it's not something that is going to change the overall damage output, but it is going to make a bit of a difference, so keep that in mind. And unfortunately, we did not take him out here, but this isn't the one that we are showcasing anyway. So this is pretty much a perfect turn. We have the Fierce Battle Link active, we have Super Saiyan active, we have the boost from Gohan active, and if you don't know what Gohan does, he gives a 40% attack and defensive boost. So, attack stats, 1.6 million, and he is going to hit for 2.4 million. So, you can clearly tell that this man hits pretty damn hard. And I will most likely just go through the Golden Freezer stage and just end it off there, and then move on to the global version. But so far, this man is just an absolute beast. I'm pretty certain that a double Super Gogeta lead that are fully maxed could probably destroy Boss Rush in a record time. And that is something that I may actually consider doing. But for now, this is what we are going with. And of course, I'm not taking on the newest Boss Rush stage, just to make it a bit fairer when it comes to testing out both of these units. Because of course, the global version of the game does not have that newest stage. And of course, we are going to get that in a few months. But for now, this is what we have to go with, which isn't too bad, but even so. Okay, so Vegeta doing what we can. And he's so underwhelming in comparison to the one that I have over on the global version. I'm actually going to go ahead and grab these, aim for him, and Actually, I think it would be smart for me to go for Frieza with Goku Jr. So you should be able to take him out here. And we may... Wow, did I seriously just get super attack twice? We're fine, but I think we may actually get a Dokkan mode before we get to the last stage, which is unfortunate, but as long as I get it with Gogeta, it won't be too bad. And there he is. Can he get an additional? Can you imagine if this man just get... There it is. Oh my god, this man just destroys everything. And that is why you give him additionals and he gets the crit. Like, he can legit take out an entire stage by himself. I legit think that he could potentially be on par with Gohan. Granted, this one is fully maxed, but, like, is that a fair comparison? Just a no ability system, LR Gohan versus a fully maxed Super Gogeta, because he just hits like a truck. And of course, I am trying this out against the older stages, so I suppose it is a bit unfair. But if we tried both out, I think they would be hitting for around the same amount. Of course, a fully maxed LR Gohan would just absolutely decimate this man, but you can definitely see that he has a spot, in a way, in comparison to some of the LRs. But here we go. And I may actually have to skip a few super attacks next turn, just because we are super close to that Dokkan mode. And I could skip it, but I don't think it's worth it. Actually, if we get lucky here, it doesn't look like we're going to get lucky. Unless I do this. So yeah, that Dokkan mode is pretty much unavoidable. But on the bright side, we are going to get a Dokkan mode with the one that we are trying out next turn. And that is definitely going to wipe him out. And of course, the debuff from Vegeta is currently active. So we are going to take a little bit less damage. 32k from his super attack, not bad. And then, of course, we have the Gogeta coming up next turn. With the boost from Gohan. Okay, this is going to be a filthy Dokkan mode. This is actually going to hit super hard. Gonna grab these orbs. Here we go, Dokkan mode within Super Gogeta. We have a type advantage. I don't know if the effectiveness against all types is going to make much of a difference, or if it's going to add to his total damage output. But we do have Super Saiyan active. We have Fierce Battle active. We have the boost from Gohan active. We have the Dokkan mode active. And look at that attack stat. 1.6 million. And of course, the Dokkan mode is going to allow him to hit even harder. You know what? Leave your predictions down below. How hard do you think this man is going to hit for? I'm going to say at least 3 million. A bit more of a crit. And 6.7 million damage. Holy crap. Okay. So, I'm pretty much going to end it off there. And then, of course, going to move on to the global version of the game. But that was part 1. And this man is just an absolute machine. Okay, so I am now on a global version of the game, and starting at a slightly different point. So, of course, I don't know how much of a difference the type advantage is going to make, but because the STR type, or the N type rather, did have a type advantage, I thought it was only fair for me to go to the Goku Black event and try him out, of course. And, of course, we are using a Super Saiyan 4 Goku lead, just to, you know, actually make it fair. Gonna grab these, and we actually have him in the second rotation. And of course, we have Super Saiyan 3 GT Goku, which is going to come along eventually. Gonna give him that boost, but there is definitely going to be a noticeable difference. That is all that I'm going to say. And of course, you have to take into account that Goku Black's event does have a bit of a high defense, so I'm gonna take on at least 2 events just to make it fair, of course. But I hope you guys have been enjoying it so far, of course. And if you want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comment section down below. And now, can this man one-shot this stage? If he can't, it's possible that Super Saiyan 3 Goku will, but is that going to be enough for a super attack? That is. So, let's see what this man can do. Of course, straight away, we get super attacks. Isn't that just lovely? And his attack stat is at 730k, so slightly lower, I'd say, than the N-type. How hard he's going to hit? 1.2 million with a crit. Interesting. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and say that the reason why he didn't hit, like, even harder is because of the defense that Goku Black has. And I'm actually gonna try to, should I try to kill him straight away? I suppose I will allow RNG to take the wheel here and decide if I'm going to take out Goku Black. I probably won't, just because Goku won't get a crit. Well, at least I think he won't, but we'll see. We have the Trunks, of course. Like I said earlier, keep in mind that the more... actually, I think he is dead. Never mind. I just saw how hard Trunks hit them. Like, yeah, he's definitely dead. Yeah, like I was saying, but keep in mind, and he gets the crit. Wow. I'm just all over the place now. keep in mind that the more ability system buffs that these guys have, the more they are going to benefit from support units, and of course they are going to benefit way more from the ability system. But the biggest difference is the fact that the INT type has a percentage passive, whereas the STR type has a flat out attack boost, and that flat out attack boost isn't even that high, so, or that big rather. I'm going to quickly show you guys. So you get a 7,000 attack boost, which in comparison to some of the other units is a bit underwhelming, but you have to keep in mind that for his time of release, that was like insane. And of course he does get the biggest increases from the ability system. You will not find another set of units. Of course this includes full power Frieza, you have Tech Perfect Cell, INT Gohan, and Agility Super Saiyan 3 Goku. You will never find another set of units so far in the game that will get this much of an increase from the ability system, so it does help him out slightly. And I'm actually going to go with this. Let's see how hard he is going to hit on this particular rotation. And of course we don't have the boost from a support units active just yet, but here we go. We have Gogeta going in with that attack stat, doing what he can, and he hit for 1.4 million, which is pretty damn good. It is definitely comparable to the INT type, but the real test is going to be when we move on to the stage where the actual boss has a bit of a high defensive stat. 570k with the STR Super Saiyan 3 Goku. We have the Super Saiyan 4 Goku now hitting for 1.4 mil. So to be fair, the STR Gogeta and the Super Saiyan 4 Goku hit for around the same amount, which is pretty impressive considering how much of an increase the Goku gets in comparison. And again, it does come down to the fact that the Gogeta is fully maxed. So a fully maxed STR Gogeta is pretty damn good, clearly. Can he compare to the INT type? That is what we are going to find out pretty damn soon. I mean, I think, okay, there is literally no comparison. The majority of the time, you're going to be running the INT type just because he does lower attack and defense. He gives a much bigger increase with the leader skill. But when it comes to damage output, the STR one isn't that far behind, to be fair. So if you don't have the INT type, the STR one is still an incredible option, clearly. But here we go, we have the... Oh, wow, of course. So you're going to have to put him there. But this is the true test, and like I said earlier, he doesn't give as much of a an increase as the Gohan, but he still gives a 33% attack boost, which is pretty damn huge. Okay, so 73k. Are we going to one-shot this man? And his attack stat is going to go up to 940k, just under 950,000. So I would imagine that with an increase from a unit like Gohan, that would definitely be over 950,000, like without a doubt. So let's say that it was around that amount. I think it's safe to say that his attack stat could easily reach 1.5 million. Is it comparable to the STR type? It probably isn't, just because the STR type was hitting for around 2 million, even higher than 2 million, like consistently. So, should I take on Vegeta? Because, you know what, I think I will, just to test him out against different types. Of course, it doesn't make much of a difference, but I don't think I've shown him off for too long. Actually, this event may have other plans for me, because it's very likely that I'm going to die here. And I just died, so never mind. I probably, pardon me, should have used a healing item there, but you get the point. There are definitely a few similarities between the two, and in certain situations, they actually hit for around the same amount. Of course, the INT type had a much higher attack stat, like in every single scenario basically, but you can tell that there are a few different, not a few differences, but a few similarities when it comes to their overall damage output. But for the most part, the INT type does hit much harder. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy today's video, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think about these particular units, and if you want to see something like this in the future, I will go ahead and try my very best to show them off as much as I can. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you all in the next one.